Okay, so today I just wanted to have an open discussion about the skills that we need to go to the next level. What it means is that I know it's a little subjective. Next level would mean something for a test engineer. It would mean something else for um, a senior test engineer. It would mean something else for a test lead. So, in general, I mean, if I want to go to the next level, what are the skills that I need? How do I polish myself? How do I become a better version of myself? Is the question that I want to ask. And I want to start with Keshav. Keshav, what are your thoughts initially?
So from my side, I would say that we should work on our skill set based on the market trends, which are
Mhm.
currently being asked in the job description of the companies. So, like for example, when I changed my job in January, I was facing much problems since I did not knew rest assured. So
Okay.
many companies were asking. I got means rejected in some of the interviews because I didn't knew about rest assured. But and one point about 1 or 2 years, 1 or 1.5 years back when I changed my company, at that time hardly anyone was asking about rest assured. So based on the changing market trends, we must update ourselves and try to learn more new technologies as per the current job market and the skill set which is asked in the job description.
I agree. I agree to quite an extent, not entirely. I'll tell you why. But before I say anything else, let's hear it from Sachin and Faiz. Sachin?
Yeah. So, like you said, I agree with Keshav, but I would like to take one step back when we talk about the the exact title, the next step. Like you said, there are chances that everyone have a different next step, but I think there are two perspectives to it. One is what Keshav said: if you want to change or switch your place, and then then you have to understand what is market demand and what are the things that you need to um, you need to learn in order to go to your next place. But there is this other chance if you want to grow in your same organization, and that will also be called as next step or next place, right? If I want to go to, and how it goes is, if my organization does not care about AI ML, even though the entire industry is running for it, I do not spend my time instead of finding what my organization want at this point. I mean, if they are running for some dream project which does not belong to what entire industry is running behind, I should first discover what they want. I mean, first is where I want to grow in my organization. Yes. Then so this is a flow chart. Okay. Yes. And then in the yes next, I also what they want. Do I have it? I know it, or I need to learn it very newly. Okay, I know it. Can I make more understanding on it, or I need to know it newly? So it's kind of flow diagram which give you a kind of understanding where you want to what actually you want to learn. But for me, the starting point is very important. Do not learn AI because everybody is learning. Do not stop doing learning Java because it is so much old and people are now moving to it. Whatever suits you for your company, for that project at that moment, for your stage of career, if you want to move ahead, if you can just analyze it, I think that should be a key to go to next step. That's what I
I
would
think
say.
I think you made a nice concoction of various thoughts. I like how you've tried to put in two different perspectives here. If you're looking for a change outside, or if you want to grow within your organization, and
Yeah.
focus on what your organization is expecting out of you, what technologies that they are focusing on, and then upskill accordingly. But if I understand correctly, the message that you're trying to convey is that no matter what, you should try and upskill, right? Only the direction of in which you want to upskill may be different depending on what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, right.
In the meantime, we've seen Parish, Chandra, and Seema join. Welcome, guys.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
How are you all?
Doing well. How are you?
Getting better. Thank you.
Feel better. It's good that despite not being so well, you are in the call at 6:30, little over 6:30 in the morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sachin, you were saying something?
No, I mean the way you summarize it. My point was same. Is like, and I relate it from sports. Even though if Olympics are coming, Virat Kohli will not start running, practicing javelin throw. He's cricketer. He will always practice cricket to go into
Okay,
next
so
level.
what if cricket is selected as an Olympic sport?
Yeah,
Then it will raise the standard
I,
of Olympic in
I,
India. Yes,
I want.
Faiz.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to add few points here. As per, so I agree a little bit with Keshav and Sachin, and disagree a little bit as well. Why I will tell, because always. So I think before, means sometimes you need to grow, have some skills as per market itself, right? Sometimes, as you said, that we do not need to care about what is in the market if you want to grow in the organization. But I think we need to have a balanced approach. First of all, we need to decide that what is next step for us. Okay, what is next step for us? First, we need to decide that. Then I think one common thing can be, regardless of whatever level you are, there should be one skill I can say, or one trait, maybe whatever we can use the term for that. The understanding of business should grow better and grow more when you want to go to the next step. Okay, as a tester, it's very important. Like when we start, so means generally, at least I was doing this mistake, that if any bug is rejected, then I was feeling disheartened why this bug is rejected. Okay, but then as we grow, we need to understand that, as per the business requirement, that may not be on that much priority, that may not be on high priority. Sometimes a bug gets deferred as well. So in whatever whether you are playing any manager role, lead role, senior tester role, senior test automation architect, or any role, but we need to have more understanding regarding the business. And regarding what you said, Sachin, and what you said, Keshav, I agree a little bit that if you have decided first where you want to grow, then uh, we need to have, even though suppose we want to grow in a particular direction, maybe market may not be that much, what can we say, market may not have that much of demand, but if there is some demand, then we can maybe grow, we can pick a particular niche, and we can grow in that direction. But there is no demand at all, then we may need to think and improvise our plan. That's what I believe. Because and what you said about organization, that is correct. But what if means due to some reasons the organization decides to cut down their staff, or maybe decides to shut down their operations, or maybe it gets taken over by another organization. So my thought is that people generally relate their job, to relate their job as their career. Means they, when we talk about career, they kind of see their job and their current organization, but the career is something more than that. And it should not be that much solely focused on the organization, that if let's say that whatever skills that you have gained for the organization, if you do not get that opportunity in the organization because of the any reason, right? And then when you want to switch, or if you have to switch, then you have to put in more efforts, because you had uh, got some specific skills only dedicated to the organization. So I'm not saying we should not do that, but there should be a balanced approach when trying to do that. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Those are good points, Faiz. Thank you. Parish, Seema, your thoughts?
Hey, Brijesh. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So I think I missed the initial 5 minutes. I do not know what Keshav started, but what I understand from the topic is for this week is what skills are we needing to go to the next level, right? And the first thing is which level,
Correct.
correct? Level. I mean, if you see, starting from the beginning of a career till we reach retirement, the levels are completely
Different.
horizontal 360 degrees, whatever you want to call it. So if I have to become from a senior engineer to a lead engineer, for example,
Yeah.
the skills required are different versus if I am a director today and tomorrow I have to become a vice president of testing, the skills required are different.
Correct.
That is the first point. But there are certain things which remain common irrespective of whether we want to move horizontally or vertically or any years of experience. Those common things are number one, hard work; number two, perseverance; number three, taking the feedback.
Yeah.
Okay, so whatever level you are, whatever level we are, if we have certain skills, they will always help to get to the next level. There
Yeah.
are people who we notice, we see they're always cribbing any feedback you give. They will never take it in a good sense, good way. They will not understand that somebody is going to help them, right? And then there are people, even if you give a very small feedback, very subtle feedback, they get that and they work on it. So no, that is a key difference between people who quickly grow to the next levels and people who do not grow. Now, having said that, these are the things I said, which is common at all levels. But if we speak about 5 years till 8 years or 10 years, some of these skills are probably, as a tester, I would say that curiosity will again become one of the key skills if we want to grow in the testing field itself. And curiosity is everything what Faiz and Sachin was also talking about, right? Curiosity to know what is happening in the market, curiosity to see, can I put my hands on those topics, on those things, whether it is AI, ML, data sciences, whatever it is, right? So no, if we are curious, we keep on trying our hands on, we always have an edge over others, and it becomes easier to reach the next level. Now, next level, one more thing, and I'll conclude with that, is that next level is not always a vertical rise. Your next level could also be a horizontal move. Okay, so just like in chess, right? You move in so many directions. Similarly, I mean, our life, our career is also like that. You have to take you have to make a next move. It could be in any direction.
Right.
So with that, I think I'll listen more to what others have to say, and then probably I'll keep on adding my comments.
Sure. Thank you, Parish. Always insightful. So you Seema needs 2 minutes to come back. So um, there's one thing that I want to add here. We spoke about horizontal, vertical, but like Parish said, we may sometimes also need to move diagonally. Okay, so that diagonal move is also there. It's like a chessboard, and obviously we when we say next level, it is subjective. It depends on every individual. And Faiz, you were absolutely right. Job, career are two different things, and on the topmost level, in my opinion, is aspiration. Okay, and I personally feel that you begin with your aspiration, and then you probably um, choose the career roadmap that you want to pick, and you go in that direction, right? And for that, but like Pari said, the very basic bare minimum things that are required are, of course, your hard work and perseverance. Those are two very important things that we of course need. And on top of that, based on what our aspiration is, what growth we want to achieve, in which direction we want to go, sometimes we need to slow down in certain aspects, or we want to make a switch which is purely horizontal, depending on the circumstances that we are in. So we have to think about all this, and then take the best decision. But for all of this, at all times, what we must not forget is that upskilling always helps us. And one of the biggest dangers is when people don't upskill or don't know how to upskill. Now, I've been doing a few, mentoring sessions with a lot of people, thanks to Mission Rahat that's been organized by Pooja. And one of the problems that I've heard from a lot of people is that they are at a level like 10 years, 12 years, and the common question that they have is, what do I do next? How do I go, or what is the next step should I take? Because I've been doing functional testing for such a long time. I don't know which way to go, and there are some people who are like, okay, I am not so much interested in automation. So what should I do next? Okay, is automation the only thing that will help me survive in the industry? Because don't see any other opportunities coming out. Nobody is asking for the skill set of a tester. Okay, so these are the kind of questions that I normally get, and that's why I was like, and this is not just, I'm just giving an example of 10 years, 12 years. This question comes in from 5 years, 6 years range onwards. Okay, what do I do next? I suddenly I'm seeing that, all the jobs are asking for automation, automation, automation. But I'm not interested in automation. What do I do? Okay. What should be my next career decision? What what job will I get? Will I survive in the industry? I am a tester now. Is it okay if I become a business analyst or become a scrum master? Because and the primary reason is because they don't think that these roles require knowledge of test automation. So it is, for some people it is daunting. For some people it is that they are not interested in doing that. But these are the questions that we get. So what do we do? Seema is back. Hi, Seema. So
Hi. Hi. Right. I'll try to speak, but I'll say what I wanted to say. I think it was Parish or Sachin. I'm not sure who said this, but where's your next move is important. Sideways, or it can be one step forward. It can be diagonal, or it can be any direction, or it can be into Scrum mastering. You want to change the line anywhere, it's fine. But what you need to understand is, what is it you want to do? Know that very clearly. And once you know that, work towards that. And remember one thing, what got you here won't get you there. I think Marshall Goldman said that. He's really good. If you can read his book, whatever effort you put in to get where you are is not what will get you through the next job. I can see that in my current role already. Doesn't help. What has worked like magic in the last few years is not helping me right now. I need to change. I need to change speed, direction, the way I work, everything. I think one also have a vision for future. It can be you want to be an automation expert, or it can be you want to be a leader or a manager or a leader without a title. Whatever you want to do, have a vision of what it is that you want to do and how you want to get there. And it's not just you getting there, right? You're not working on your own in an island. You're working with people. So you need to align people, make sure you're communicating what you're communicating. You need to start building a shared understanding of your vision, because you're not the only person executing your vision. You need to get people around you to believe in that vision, which means you need to start influencing them to follow you. Now, you can be a team lead, you can be an automation expert for that, you can be a manager or a senior manager, which then brings you to motivation and inspiration. So you need not just to share your vision and tell them you can't dictate how people should do follow it because it's your vision, and many times not everyone will be on board with it, which means you need to motivate them, inspire them, and even show, sometimes even prove yourself, saying this will work, do it. Or it can be even take feedback from others. Maybe what you're thinking is not in the right direction, so be prepared to take feedback as well. um, yeah, that's mainly what I wanted to share today. Sorry, it's quite broken right now.
Well, I think that's a very good summary of the points that you wanted to make, Seema. Well, Parish also emphasized on the need for feedback, and on some people uh, rejecting feedback, some people reacting differently to feedback, and then some people doing outstandingly well when even a little bit of feedback is given to them. And that's something that I feel is very, very important. But yeah, before we take this any further, Nikhil, I see you've joined. Thank you for joining. So we wanted to understand from everybody, what is it that will take us to the next level of whatever we are doing currently? I mean, if I know the context differs from person to person of when we talk about next level, but then in general, what is it that will help you go to the next level? So, Nikhil, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Brijesh. The first thing, whenever we take the some little steps to growing the skills, everything. First things we need to the take the feedback as positively, as said by the Parish and others, Seema. If the person has not able to learn new things every day, if this should be in your work, we looking for the text of which questions is getting in the test chat community groups on Telegram also. We learn from there also. If anything we don't know, then we need to also search for the that thing. I think this should be also one the step to skills upscale. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that's good advice. But
Mm.
the question still remains: what is it that holds people back from doing that little analysis of what they want to do, and why is it a general mindset that people look at the next job as the biggest thing that is happening to biggest thing in their lives, and um, they're not so concerned about their career as such. What
I
do you
think
think?
one thing is at in that the when the people are only looking for the job change, that time they are thinking about the new technologies, new skills. But when we have go when we join any organizations or new organizations, or we are currently organization, the people only focus on the what we are currently implementing, what we are working, but not looking for the other things. Only when the job change has required the people, mainly that time the people thinking and lacking in upgrade the skills.
Now, Faiz, I know you've been looking at the jobs corner and the conversation that go on in our jobs in the TTC jobs corner. Now, do you see people actually thinking about things from a career perspective, or do you see people only thinking from that job perspective, that I want the next job, and
Yeah.
more often than not, the criteria is salary and a designation. That's it.
I what Yeah, I think I will try to give a more what I can say, like more wider view on that. So yeah, from the jobs corner, what I observed, and not from jobs corner only, from other areas also I have observed that people generally, think that changing the job is like, it's like what can I say, silver bullet to all their problems related to professional life. So if they are changing their job, then suddenly it is like a magic wand that, like, they will get a good package automatically, good work-life balance automatically, and I can go on. But you are understand. I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to say. So people are seeing the next job as ultimate destination. I would very much like to agree with Nikhil's point that, what people generally do mistake is that when they try to look for a new job, then they try to, upskill. I think that's the very, what can I say, very bad mistake people are doing. Means they are unknowingly doing it, but they are doing this. Okay, I think what people needs to understand is like, I think everyone at least from India should be. I'm not aware if in outside India there is a concept like this, but in India, I think everyone is aware about SIPs or systematic investment plans or things like that, right? So what are those things? You need to means you need to systematically do something for a long time. It's like kind of a continuous activity, and then it will like after after end of that period, it will give like many times return. So the same thing is applicable here as well,
Yes.
right? So your career is a very is a marathon. It's not a, like, what can we say, a 100-meter race. It's a
Yes.
marathon. Okay, so you have to continuously learning. And but what people are mistaking, what people are doing mistake in my aspect is, people generally whatever wherever they are, as Nikhil mentioned that most of the time they are happy with it. Okay, so when whatever generally happens that, when they hear from someone or situation gets so bad at work that they think like, oh, now we are missing out, then they start acting on it. Okay, and when they start acting on it, they get, and then they get maybe whatever job they want, and generally people are looking for package only. This is not a bad thing, I can say, because to have more money is a good thing. But people seems to be lacking this balanced approach there. Then what happens that sometimes I heard from few people that, they are literally saying that they are ready to work with less package, but they want some more work, more good work, which, they find meaningful and want to have a good work life balance. Okay, so people are, kind of doing this is means the first mistake is that they are not they are treating this as a small term, like, what can I say, small part of their life, which is a mistake. They are treating only job as the career, which is also the mistake. Okay, and the second thing is that whenever they are changing, so then also they are not considering the that from a 360-degree aspect. Okay, so if, people like like people plan their lives. Okay, they have life insurance, they have this financial investments, etc., so on and so forth. Okay, but it's surprising to me that at least in India, many people are aware, as well, many people are very much aware, but many people are still, don't plan these things. And, and when the things get very bad, then it becomes sometimes very difficult for them. Okay, and I do not blame them entirely, because I think the kind of system we are having, like, means are having like systems like coaching classes. We are having systems like means I don't know, but in whether in other states is everywhere, but for textbook we are having something called guides. So it's kind of, more ready-made recipe of or more ready-made material, as you can keep reading the textbook and you can, learn from this. So people are, so from the childhood only they are having that kind of mindset towards learning and all things. So people are not, if so people generally they are very much dependent on others to learn or to know about something. So I am not saying there is no dependency at all, but means these all things like are coming together, and that's what it's create this much of a challenge. So it's not a very simple thing, I believe. It's a very complex thing, but maybe by, trying or solving one aspect, then one by one focusing on one aspect, people can, maybe improve what they are doing. Yeah, that's what I want to say. Maybe I drifted off the topic little bit, but yeah, sorry for that.
No, I think you gave some very good examples, and I like the example of systematic investment plans and how uh, investing systematically over a period of time gives you the benefits, and they are very good benefits. And similarly, people need to look at their career. So I really appreciate that analogy, and I like how you put it. And also, the the thing that you pointed out is, we are kind of used to, especially in India, uh, we are kind of made ready for shortcuts. For example, textbook also comes with a guidebook. So people don't read the textbook, they read the guide. It's like read previous year's question papers and give the exam, and you'll be through. And that's what people need, you know. I mean, I have used those guidebooks. I have used those, a question bank just to clear exams, because that was the goal. So where is the learning there? It's not there. So when it comes to career as well, people, because we are tuned towards shortcuts, we look for shortcuts, we look at short term goals rather than looking at a long term investment. And career also, in my opinion, is an investment. In the meantime, I see Shefali has joined. Welcome, Shefali. Good morning. uh,
Hi, Brijesh. Good morning.
and Sachin is back. Thank you, Sachin, for coming back. Mm. So yeah, some very good points made there. Does it trigger any other thought what Faiz was saying? Keshav, Parish, Seema, Nikhil, Shefali, what do you think?
I don't think it's limited to India as such, but not retrospecting over what exactly you want to do in the future. I think most often we run behind or are in the rat race of what's the next shiny thing that I want, and just try to jump ship at that point. This is the next shiny thing. That's what I want, uh, or uh, that person, my age, uh, my friend, my somebody, or my colleague is earning this much. I need to be earning that much, which means I'm going to change career. So those kind of things trigger a lot of times that what your next move should be, rather than introspecting over what is it that I really, really want to do. Even, for example, the automation stuff, I really appreciate the ones who actually given it a thought, given it a try, and then say, this is not for me. At least they've spent that time doing that. Not everyone's doing that. A lot of them I see are just jumping ship thinking, I want to be automating because everyone's automating. I want to be learning this because everyone's learning this. AI, everyone's doing AI. Let me also do AI. Not fully understanding the reasoning behind it, the steps needed to be there, and what direction do you want to take it towards? Do you want to turn your ship towards? It's also, I've lost my train of thoughts.
I'll tell you something. Okay, yesterday I was talking to somebody, and that person said, and I found it really. I actually did not know how to respond to that. That person said, "Well, I'm looking for a change, and I'm looking at a certain package, you know, which should be 40% of what I get." And then I asked that person, "How much is your current salary?" And the person disclosed, and I promptly immediately said, "You know what? For the region where you live, it's already above these standard market, and on top of that, you are asking for 40%. So you are actually going much higher than what. So is what is prompting you to look at that, and that actually connects to what you said, Seema, that we look at our peers and, okay, if he's getting so much, why can't I get there? Why shouldn't? So that becomes more like an obsession, that I also want to do the same thing. And what this person told me is that there is a developer who switched jobs and went to the same company that this person has also applied for and actually got an increment of 40%. But since this person is a tester, the organization is not giving this person 40%, but is offering much less. And the question there was, of course, why is there a disparity between developer and tester? Well, that's a totally different topic. That's the mindset issue. But then this thing, what you said about looking at a peer trying to do something and getting more money, and then you yourself thinking, oh, probably I should also be getting that much amount of money. Probably I should also be having that designation. Okay, and I've also heard, people. We were talking about people switching over from testing to BA, and of late, I think it was in the group. It was Kshitij who brought up this point. He asked, "Why is it that it is increasing constantly nowadays?" Well, that has been the trend for many years. People are switching, from testing to a lot of other things. Be Scrum Master, be it business analysts, and again, this has been the trend, and people observe other people. There is a lot of bias, there is a lot of bandwagon effect in that, and so that's why that kind of a reaction is triggered, instead of people thinking what's best for me and what's best for me in the long run. I mean, not a lot of people are actually thinking in that direction. And I want to come back to Parish's point. Parish, you mentioned about hard work and perseverance being the two basic qualities that you need, irrespective of whatever level you want to go to and whatever level you are. You want to extrapolate a little bit on those, and help us understand how these two qualities can actually benefit us in more ways than just one.
Sure, Brajesh. So I'll definitely speak more about that. But before that, some extremely good points by Seema and what you added. If I may add a bit more to that, okay. So a few years back, me and some of my colleagues in our Center of Excellence, we tried to do some market research, and we found that people in the experience level of 0 to 4 years, they switch organizations for no reasons. They only switch because their colleagues, their friends have switched. What Seema was exactly saying. That is the only trigger for them to switch. And whatever you call it, the market supply, market demand, people get easy jobs with a 20-30% hike, and at a salary of let's say 5 lakh package, 30% hike is not a big one for the organizations also, right? It's like peanuts for the organizations. So they easily give that much hike without looking at whether the person has the skills or no skills or whatever.
Yeah.
Number one. Second thing is that you also spoke about aspirations. Now, sometimes our aspirations get converted into overly ambitions, right? So I do not aspire to become a test manager. I just want to become a test manager from where currently I am. Okay. I would not do anything. I would not do any systematic investment planning on my learning. I would not do anything. I just would say that, okay, I have spent 3 years in my current role. I want a promotion now to the test manager level. This is what we very often hear from our people. And this is not only for one organizations, across organizations, we hear that, right? So no, calling that as next level, probably I would not agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so whether you switching a job for a higher salary, doing the same thing, or you taking a promotion in the same organization and doing the same thing, that for me is not the next level.
Correct.
Next level has to be thought of very holistically. That okay, now that it should have certain components. Are there any increase in your roles and responsibilities? Does that bring you more learning abilities or learning opportunities, I would say? Does that bring you a higher compensation, right? Does that change the way you have been working? What Seema was saying, right? Whatever has been working like magic last few years have completely changed now, right? So that shows that something has changed. But if we keep on doing the same thing, even after getting promotion or job switch, it is not the next level for me. Now, the next thing, I mean, to your original question about hardworking and perseverance, it's very important, right? I mean, we hardworking is the most primitive thing which we need, right? Without hardworking, I may get one or two promotions. I can reach to a certain level, just by saying that my experience level is like that. I want to have a team parity, and using all those big jargons, we can get to a certain level. But beyond that, we cannot do that. We cannot go much beyond that. And when we say hard work, I think all of us, Faiz also had touched upon that in a different sense. Seema also has said that hard work means that whatever your aspirations are, you are working towards it, right?
Right.
Whether it is automation, whether you want to move towards Scrum Master or BA, I feel no harm in moving towards a Scrum Master or a BA or a PO role, or even going to the development field. Whatever is my career goal, I should do that, and I
Right.
should work hard towards that, right?
Right.
And I think the topic started with AI ML. Now, we all know very basic things about AI ML. Whatever we have heard from one conference, or by seeing one YouTube video, that is what our understanding of AI ML is. But have we tried to go deeper into that? Or my work was just to listen to one talk and start talking about that, correct? So no, that is where hard work goes on, and hard work is not just about I mean, it comes everywhere, right? Sachin quotes examples from cricket or from sports every time. Why is that? Because he has worked hard on that subject. He has trained his mind to relate to these things. It is
Mm.
not that just no. I mean, one day he thought, okay, we'll talk about cricket. Next day he talks about something else. Or you see any leader. I mean, whenever they have some stories, they have come from that hard work.
Yeah.
Hard working in terms of training your mind also on certain aspects. And
Absolutely.
perseverance is continuously doing it. I mean, I can get something and then I stop. That will not going to help me, right? To meet or to get my aspirations met, I need to keep on working hard. So I'm not sure if I think if we all have the Hindi knowing audience, we have a doha in Hindi: karat karat abhyas ke jalmati hot sujan,
Yeah.
rasri avat jat te sil par parat nisan. That is what perseverance is. You keep on doing one thing again and again, again and again, and that is what will actually take you to the next level,
Yes.
right? So with I think that's it, Rajesh.
No, I think you made a very, very broad and very, very detailed rather points. To your first point, when we are looking for a change, or when we are talking about the next level, what we are looking for, you mentioned a few things. I just want to add one more thing to that list which you said, and that is, does my role change, or the next level that I'm going to, help me add more value? That is one question that we needs to be answered. A lot of times, in a lot of situations, we just don't think about the value that we are bringing in. Okay, it's about, okay, well, how much money will I get, what is the designation that I will have, and how many people will be there in my team. More often than not, it is on that level, and I find that very superficial. Okay, we don't go down and look at things like, okay, will this help me bring more value to the organization? Will this help me bring more value to myself? That, okay, I know something more, I am taking up more roles and responsibilities, and I am capable of delivering much more than what I could in the previous role. So people don't generally think about this. And 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 I am stunned when I ask people, okay, what is the value that you are adding to your organization as a tester? They go absolutely blank. Okay, this is one common interview question that I ask people, and a lot of times they go blank. They have no answer because nobody has thought about that perspective. Nobody thinks of value. I mean, it's very simple for me. When we purchase something, when we buy anything, we of course we are buying that particular item, but what are we buying it for? For the features and for the value it brings to us. right? So similarly, if we are trying to do something, if an organization is paying us our salary, it is obviously paying us for the skills we bring to the table, the knowledge we have to offer, and the value that we add by doing what we are supposed to do. That is something that I find missing in a lot of people whom I talk to. And that is why I was thinking, okay, when I say next level is of course contextual. For everybody it's different, for every level it's different, but at the same time people need to start thinking that, okay, I'm going to be adding more value, or this is what I bring to the table. Well, as I was speaking, I could see Shubham and Dheeraj join. Hey, Dheeraj, great to see you, man. Very good to see you. I hope you guys are doing well. Well, yeah, so
I just wanted to add something to what
please
Parish
go ahead,
said.
Seema.
Uh, to what Parish said, I think hardworking, perseverance really important. But I wouldn't say, I would say not hardworking, but smart working, because I've had in real I've had people in my teams who are extremely hardworking, who are really good, who put in all efforts. They don't leave a stone unturned. And then when they come to performance reviews, then they start saying, I want to be the lead, I want to be the senior. But hard work, just being an expert in what they're doing over and over and over again, is not what will make them the senior or the text lead or take them to the next level. They need to fill that gap that is there. What is it different to what you're doing? You might be doing what you're doing in the best possible way, but there's still a gap between what you're doing and what the test leader is doing or the test manager is doing. Most often, what I see is people fall into this gap of test manager doesn't do anything. All that person says is do this and do that. Or the test lead just tells us what to do. They don't know much about what is exactly happening. I don't think that's completely true. I don't know how it is in India. I might be wrong here, but personally, I haven't seen that happen. So one, I would say doing the same thing over and over again is not going to take you to the next level. You need to find what is the difference between what I'm doing now and what I want to achieve. What is the gap? How can I fill that gap? And start behaving in that way and start doing those things. Take on ownership or responsibility of what that next level is that you want to achieve, to show a glimmer of what it is that you want to do next. And also talk about it. Yes, talk about it in your one-to-one, saying, I want to be a test lead in 6 months' time. What is it can I do? You can't just come at the end of 1 year and say, now make me a test lead or a test manager. That's not how it works. At least that's not how I've seen it work. If it's different, let me know. I'm learning a lot from these sessions of how things are different. But yeah,
Well,
those are
Seema,
a couple of things I wanted to ask.
Seema, you spoke about that gap, and
Yeah.
that gap is what I call as value. What value are you bringing to the table? Okay, is what I see that as the difference. Okay, if the test lead is doing something, and I come to tomorrow and I say, hey Seema, you know what? I have the experience of being a test lead. Please make me a test lead. Okay, simply the things that you are going to look at probably is, okay, do I bring in the same value as the current test lead is? If I do, probably only then will I be considered. I'm not saying that I will get it, but for to come into that consideration as well, I need to think about that value. Okay. If I, you're absolutely right. If I keep on doing the same thing over and over again and I become an expert, it doesn't mean that I'm adding anything to the organization. I am making people's life easy. If I'm,
Yeah.
if I'm really doing that, well, that,
No, they've been really talented ones, right? They're learning, they're doing what they're doing, but they're doing the same things that they're doing, which is not, like you said, adding the value that needs to be added to the next level that they want to reach. or they don't speak about it as much. It comes as a surprise at the end of 1 year, saying, I want to be doing this. And that uh, uh, not speaking up about it, that this is what I want to achieve, is most often seen in women, I would say. They shy away from saying, I want to be doing that role, but it's not uncommon in men either. Um, that is important in your one-to-ones or in your quarterly reviews. Speak regularly with your managers about it, that what it is that you want to achieve, and also discuss about what is it that is missing that you would like to learn or do more of. That way, when situation changes in your project, then you can start taking responsibilities of that during the course of time. And then when you come to the yearly reviews, you can start saying, I've done this. That's why I think I'm ready for taking up the next role. But just saying, I don't think there's much involved in looking at being a lead or a manager. That doesn't help in any way, And also zooming in and zooming out is really important. You can't just um, keep doing what you're doing and know what you know, because there might be things you don't know. You should learn to switch context between zoom out and then zoom in as well. That also helps in understanding and taking up the next levels as you go.
Well, as we speak, Naveen has also joined us. Good morning, Naveen. Yeah, it's still morning in India. So 5 minutes to noon. Good morning, Naveen. I hope you're doing well.
Hey, good morning, Brijesh. Sorry, I just saw the link and thought of joining.
No, you did a great job. You always do. So it's always good to have you here. Well, so what we are talking about is what is it that we need to do to get to the next level, and we've heard a lot of views, and now we were talking about, you know, in a lot of situations, people just come in the appraisal and say, "Hey, you know what? I've spent 3 years in this company. I want promotion. Please promote me. I want to become a lead, or I want to become a manager." And what does a manager do anyway? He doesn't do anything except, so those kind of things. So what do you think, Naveen? I have a very interesting question for both Seema and Shefali. But before that, Naveen, your thoughts?
Yeah, to move to the next level.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So you've
Yeah,
been
next.
in an engineering manager role, and you've been you've hired a lot of people. You've seen a lot. You've done a few appraisals yourself. So what do you think? What is it that
Yeah,
we?
according to me, I believe that spending number of years, that doesn't matter. But you should feel that responsibility that if you really want to become, let's say, lead or senior manager or QA manager, lead to manager or SD1 to SD2. I think first of all, whatever the goals set by your company or your manager, I think you should fulfill those goals. And if you personally feel that, okay, I'm quite ready for the next role, the kind of responsibilities, ownership, I can take it. If you can do it within 6 months, also within 1 year, also, and you have proved yourself, definitely you are eligible for that. But if you still doing the exactly same thing and same stuff that you're doing, you're not doing something out of the box, or maybe not taking any initiative, and not in terms of only for testing or automation. I think at org level there are multiple initiatives also at the manager level that you have to start good communities, and then a lot of things you can do. For example, blogging communities and participating in some different conferences and motivate, and then start doing some brainstorming sessions, do some tech talks within the company. So these are the extra stuff you have to do, so that you will be different from others. And otherwise you're exactly doing the same thing from last 1 year, then why should I promote you? You have already spent 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. That doesn't matter to me. So I think in most of the product company, they follow the exactly same pattern. I think if you are ready, you're matured enough. Maturity level is very important. You are sensible to take that ownership and role, because it's not in your manager's hand actually. It's because he has to exactly present the same data to his manager and to the management that it's really eligible or not, because there are other competitors also. So I think if you can showcase the data, some people, they don't just do it, but they don't showcase the data. That's very important. You have to highlight your work, whatever you're doing, not in terms of only showing off, but the valuable things that you have done. I think you should showcase, you should say, okay, yeah, these are the things that I have done. It's actually valuable for the company growth and for the product and the team. So I think then definitely management will look into it. You will be highlighted, and then they will take a decision accordingly.
You mentioned some very good points there, Naveen, and you spoke about ownership. Now that is so very important. That is such an important thing that a lot of people don't pay attention to, and that's one of the qualities that people obviously look for. You know, when they are seeking to promote people or
Mm.
move to the next level, you know, ownership is something that which is valued a lot, and it's very important. So thank you, Naveen, for adding that point. And of course, you know, showcasing your work. Now in a lot of instances, you know, it becomes bragging, but it there is a fine line between showcasing and bragging. And Seema is smiling. I was having a conversation with Seema yesterday on the subject, and an example of that was set by one of our community members, Shruti Pandey. She wrote an article, a blog post yesterday, highlighting all the work that she's done in her career so far. And I think that was exactly showcasing what she possesses, what are the skills that she has, and she spoke about, and she her point was also that, you know, it is required from time to time that you show your work. It's not about boasting your work, or saying, oh, I did a great job, I did such a fantastic thing, look at me, I am the only one who can do this stuff. Instead of doing that, at least show to people what you've been up to and what you've been doing.
See,
And
I'll give you an example. Showcasing is not about that you have to, every day you have to tell to each and everyone that, okay, hey, this is what I have done. No.
right.
Showcasing means at the time of appraisal, or in fact, in every 15 days, every week, you must be having some one-on-one meeting with your manager. Just explain that, okay, this is what exactly I have done for this project, for this team. These are the releases that we have done. These are the bugs that we have found. This is the thing that my team has done. This is about, I'm talking about it. Any initiative that you have taken with respect
Exactly.
to automation framework or new things that you have designed, any XYZ example, just showcase means that just highlight those things. Especially with the testing, this is what is the problem is that people, they do a lot of hard work for 1 year, and then you expect that, okay, yeah, my manager is keep monitoring, okay, it's still looking into my work. It will never happen like that. I'm telling you, that's my personal experience. Nobody's going to check your work daily basis. You have to tell them, this is what I have done. You have to expose those things so that they will see that, okay, yeah, this is the quality this person has delivered. So some people, they have this thing that, okay, they don't want to, just want to work, but they don't want to document those things. They don't want to highlight those things to the management. At a time of one-on-one also, they don't discuss. Yeah, they say just, okay, yeah, everything is fine. They don't discuss about their growth also for next 1 year, for next 2 years. I think you should discuss about it. Then only people will see that enthu in you. That, okay, yeah, this person is actually motivated and really looking for those things. Otherwise, nobody's bothered about it, frankly speaking.
Absolutely. And you know, as testers, a lot of times we are involved in activities that include a lot of research, a lot of analysis. So you know, that is also something that we can document and showcase. That, you know, I was involved in researching this, and these were the findings of my research. This is the analysis that I did, and this was the outcome of the analysis that I did, and which has helped us shape the product better in a lot of different ways. I've been able to get better test ideas, write better test cases, you know, focus a lot more in a lot of different areas in terms of the application, and those are some of the things that can be listed. Well, so on that, I do have a question for Shefali and Seema. Seema, you mentioned that this showcasing, uh, women don't tend to showcase their work as much as they should. Why?
I don't know the reason why, but it's very common and it's applicable to me as well. I find it really, really hard to say what I've done. I mean, like Naveen said, we need to speak about it to our managers. I do that. In my one-to-ones, yes, I talk about it. Most often don't, or I always say that it's the team that worked, even if I worked. Um, I find it really, really difficult to talk about what I've done. And over the last couple of years, I've seen that it's not just me, it's a lot of women who go through this, not talking much about what they do, not highlighting or bringing that attention to themselves. It's, at least for me, it doesn't come easy. And I don't mind when others do it. Like you said, Shruti did it. I love what she wrote. It was really nice. But would I do that? I don't know. I don't think. I would find it very difficult to talk about it.
Shefali?
Brijesh, for me, it is quite opposite. I know where to speak. So yes, I keep doing it. So if you talk about me, sometimes people have issues that why she spoke like this, or why she, just mentioned it so clearly. Like if I tell you about, like, recently my project has changed. Now in my previous project, all of a sudden, in last few months, there were a lot of iterations, like people were leaving like anything. So there were a lot of people who left from my team itself. So it's like all the developers, all the specialists left in same 2 months. So it was just me, obviously, from the testing team, and just few developers, and then a new joiner, and then my scrum master. So my scrum master, of course, he was quite loaded with all of the work, because he was doing the development at the same time, then he was doing the scrum master role, then scoping. And then he came up to me and he said that you are the senior most, so I want you to take ownership and just help me in things. So I said, okay. So taking ownership means that I did what he asked for. He mentioned, he clearly dropped an email, that you have to do all these things. So I said, okay, I'm doing it. So I did all those points, whatever he mentioned. I took the ownership of the testing, of scoping. I presented all the demos, everything I did. Now, again, after 15 months, he had a one-to-one. He never had any one-to-one in past 1 year. Okay. But in 1 month, he scheduled two one-to-one with me. And I was like, what happened all of a sudden? So he said, Shefali, you missed this. And again, I need more from you. And I mean, he was all about complaining. He never ever spoke that what all things I actually did for him since he was not present, or I took the ownership and I presented all the customer demos. Even that was the first customer demo ever that somebody presented to Canada people. But he never acknowledged that he was all about complaining. Then I said, listen, first of all, do not just be frustrated because you have a lot of work to do. If you are not able to do your work, please go and tell management that you are the scrum master, you are not a developer, and you are not interested in developing, or whatever is your problem. Do not just come and shout at me. I am not the right person. If you are really frustrated about your job, if you are really overloaded, please go and talk to the management and tell them to provide you resources, because you are not able to cope up with it. And if you're talking about me, I am doing my job. If you want me to put in more efforts, I will do that, but you have to talk to me very politely. You have to first appreciate my efforts, whatever I'm doing for you. And you just don't have to complain about it. This is the second time or third time that you are just complaining. You are not appreciating anything. Then he just calmed down. He got his tone to bit low, and then he said, okay, Shefali, we'll talk about it, and stuff like that. And then he spoke to the managers or whatever. He got the resources. So yeah, in my case, I am not the person who sit behind and just listen, or do not do anything about stuff. So I am quite vocal about everything, whatever I see. So I have got really big changes in the organization. Like recently, they have started a program for testers, Journey to SDET. There was no program in my current organization for testers. But since I had a roundtable with one of the higher management, I spoke there. I told them that you do not have any path for testers. You just have path for developers. So what am I supposed to do? Just sit here, whatever I'm doing, and do nothing for my future? So they have started a new program again and for testers community in the organization. Then I have jumped in for another program that was not for me, as mentioned by my management, that you are not supposed to be part of that program because we don't think you are going for that role anyway in the future. So I said that is my choice if I want to go for that role or not. But if I have to learn, you cannot stop me from learning. So I jumped in that program as well. And you know, I mean, I don't know, there are few people in management who will always pull you down, but it is all up to you that how you have to come up. I mean, it is like you said, what values you are bringing to the organization. I would go in the opposite. And like if I am applying for a role, okay, or I am studying the job description given by an organization, I actually think that if I will join this organization, what it will add in my resume. Okay. I think in that way, that if I am joining this role, what new things I will learn, what I mean, what responsibilities they'll be giving me, and how it will help me groom. So these are three things that I look upon. I look it in the opposite direction because of course I have many things to learn, and I am just looking for those opportunities where people would offer me to learn. So yeah, that is my take.
Brijesh, can I add one thing?
Please go ahead, Naveen.
Yeah, so I think Shefali was there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I disagree with the last point that you only look for your things. But the same way, I think management, they don't think like that, right? So management is expecting that, okay, yeah, our employee should grow. But at the same time, I think you have to, the employee also should think about their company growth also. If everybody is looking only for their personal growth, only for resume addition things, so that I can do the next switch, I think that won't help. According to me, that is what I have seen, especially in really good product companies. I mean, almost all the companies, forget about product companies, people expecting, management expecting. And if you're thinking in that way only, it will reflect in your body language, the kind of work you are doing daily. It will be reflected, and then you will never get the appreciation from the management. If you're doing some really good work also, you have already created this rapport in front of management. Okay, now this person is only about himself or herself only, and only for the person growth. So I think because ultimately, end of the day, you are working for the company. It's not your own company. It's your project, your application. You have to deliver. So you have to think about all the good things about the company, project, application, everything. If you're only thinking, okay, I just want to learn Cypress or Selenium from this team, and then just want to learn a couple of things, and then I'll switch so that I can add it in my resume. I think you can do it. Everyone has to be selfish about it, but do not show that. Do not showcase to the management that, okay, this is the only thing I'm looking for. You have to learn about the product. You have to take initiative in terms of which will help the management to grow the company, to grow the organization, and for application point of view as well. That is, I think, my opinion. I'm not sure that everybody's okay with that or not.
Well,
No, no.
This is
I'll
this is Dheeraj. This is
you
Dheeraj.
two
Can
wrong.
I say
oh,
something?
yeah, Dheeraj, please go ahead.
Hey guys, sorry to cut you, Shefali. I totally agree what Naveen said, right? I mean, it's a two-way street, guys, right? I mean, in the ideal world, yes, you can say that, but nobody will buy that. Your objective should align with organization objective, period. Okay, it's not our company. They are not going to entertain it like that. Right? If you want to learn something, parallelly go ahead and learn that. Nobody is stopping you. But when it comes to working in a project, saying what you are adding value, make sure the value that you want to add aligned with what organization wants. Okay, not being arrogant in any way, but that's the truth, right? It's a 15 years experience that is talking. but that's a fact.
Yeah, okay. No, you took me wrong. I was not talking about the current organization. Of course, I'm working hand in hand. I was talking about if I am looking for a new role outside. Okay, I'm not talking about what current work I am doing. Of course, we work for the organization. Of course, we work for the customer. I understand that. I am talking about if I'm looking out for a new role. Okay, so since there are a lot of things coming in the market, so I just do not want to apply to each and everything that is there in the market. So I'm just saying that I filtered out some things because how best I could work in that environment. That is what I was talking about. Learning is one thing, of course, that could be done on the on job training as well if you're open to learn. It is just about the right opportunity that I'm talking about. So that is what I meant, switching roles, not in the current organization, not in the current role.
I agree on that. What I'm saying is, even if you want to step up to the new organization or to a new role, first as a person, we should show the value add that we can bring, right? Go there, prove yourself, spend some time over there, and then we can say that, okay, these are the changes, or now I feel that, okay, I have done my part, right? I would like to see this now. From day one, if you say, right, what value you guys are bringing, or if I join this role, what I will be getting it, I don't think that's a right approach.
Well, interesting conversation there. So first, I want to summarize a couple of things here. So Seema and Shefali are quite the opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to women showcasing their worth or their value in an organization. And uh, you know, Shefali being Shefali, I know that's why I put the same question to both of them, and I know that there will be different answers. Okay, I knew at all times that's because I've known both the ladies for some time now, and so I know what's going on. And both of you are right in your ways, but Seema, here's the thing. I mean, we don't see so many leaders in the women leaders in the testing space, and that's probably because women, for whatever reason, they don't showcase their work effectively enough. They're doing a fantastic job, but the way they showcase their work is not effective enough to get it highlighted and saying, okay, you know what, you are actually making a difference, and that's why you deserve to be at a higher place or at a higher level. And that's why, and that needs to be really appreciated. And so in that perspective, the thing that Shefali mentioned, that she's trying to do a lot of things and trying to showcase, that's a brilliant step. And I would advise all of you to go and look at Shruti's post from yesterday. She did it in such a fantastic manner, not actually bragging, but actually writing about the stuff that she's been doing. And that's something I would advise that all women start doing it. In fact, men can also start doing it if you're not doing it. Now, coming to the other point of the discussion that was going on in terms of value, uh, here's how I look at it. Okay, it's the employers. Their objective is that they have a business to run. Okay, and their objective of having us on board as employees is that we should be able to support that business with the knowledge and the skills and the experience that we have got. So obviously it is a two-way street. Okay, they will look for the value that we bring into the business, and we will obviously look at the value that the business will bring to us. So I don't discount Shefali's perspective entirely. And I completely agree with what Naveen and Dheeraj also mentioned, that, we have to align our aspirations, our thought processes, our goals, our value addition to what the company is looking for. And similarly, the company also has an equal responsibility of looking at how it is supporting us in terms of growing. And Shefali, I really appreciate the steps that you took. That, you did not have a program for testers. You pitched in. You spoke about it in a roundtable with the management, and now you have that program going, which is a brilliant way how testers can actually effectively speak out and add value in terms of the helping the entire organization. All testers will benefit out of this exercise, that this one step that Shefali has taken. Okay, and that's how the organization will also recognize the effort that you're putting in, and hopefully the steps that the organization is taking will add on to the profile that you already have, Shefali, and other testers will also benefit. So it's a two-way street, and I agree with both the approaches, but at the same time I feel
Brijesh,
that women
Brijesh,
need to.
let me
Okay,
correct
sorry, go
you
ahead.
in a small thing there. I'm not saying I don't speak up. I'm not saying that I will not speak up when things need to be done. Or if it was that way, then I wouldn't be where I am today.
Correct.
Right? I have to speak up when it was needed. I have spoken up, and I still do, and I don't tolerate anybody's. I don't want to use the word here, but yeah,
Nonsense.
yeah,
Nonsense.
yeah. So I do it in a nice way, but I don't take things. If someone says this is the way we do it, I don't sit and accept it. So that doesn't happen. The problem I face is taking credit. That's what I don't do. I can do what I want to do. I do what I have to do, and I must do. I might speak about it in my one-to-one, but that's where it ends. I do not ever speak about. That's my problem, and I've had this review since a couple of years now, and I still have the same review. I don't know if it's me being me. I don't know, but I cannot talk about myself.
So
We'll
Brijesh,
sorry, go ahead.
I was saying that there are a few things. First of all, that putting a label female versus male on speaking up or sharing or showcasing is not right. I do not agree with that. There are female colleagues, there are male colleagues who do the thing same way. So first of all, I do not agree with you saying that our women colleagues do not share or showcase as much as male colleagues do. So that was one point. The second thing is what Shefali and Dheeraj and Naveen has been saying. It's a very important point. I'll just want to share quickly one story. In my previous organization, one of the previous organizations, a person came to me saying, Parish, I want to do Six Sigma black belt certification. I said, very well. Then what? Right? After that, what will happen? And we had nothing to do with Six Sigma or black belt, right? So I was not knowing or feeling the need, and he was not able to convince me also. So speaking up or saying something without even realizing the value it is going to bring is also not correct. Okay. And third thing, I mean, again, going back to the original topic about what skills are required, we have been talking about the skills from the employee perspective or from the individual perspective. What we have not spoken yet is from a people manager perspective. How many of us in the people management role do a succession planning, do a career planning of our people? Do we do that? Right? If Seema is not coming to me and sharing what she wants, or somebody, or let's not take Seema's name, anybody else, if I'm an introvert, I have not planned my career, that should not mean that my career will not progress. Right? I am in the hands of a manager who has to think about that if I'm not thinking.
Right.
Together we have to do that. Right? So if I'm not speaking in my one-to-one, that person has to speak in one-to-one. Parish, what do you want to do in this year? Do you see that you are ready for the next role? Do you see you can become a test lead? If not this year, at least next year. Do you think you can do these 3 additional tasks if I want to promote you to this level? Do we do that? So these are also the skills which are equally important from the people management side. Of course, I mean, one person may have 50, 60 reports. Not everybody would be same, but it becomes our responsibility also to take care of the careers and the skills required to make sure the career is good.
I so agree with you, Parish. I mean, I have faced this, and to be honest, I don't know that there are some issues in the organization that they do not have a very well defined career path for the testers. So this year appraisal, when I had one-to-one with my manager, of course that was the first one in last year. So yeah, when I had the one-to-one, I asked him this question when he mentioned all the points that I have to do for the coming year. Then after that, he asked me that what you want to share. Then I asked him that what is the career path that you have in your mind for me, what you are thinking, that where I should go in this coming year, if you have any new roles that could uh, help me, or anything that you want me to learn to bring value to the current team. He was quiet. He had no answer. He said, Shefali, I have to check. I said, you have to check about what? He said, I do not know that what testers do after this role. So I will have to check with the management for this, that what is the next step for you. I said, okay, check with the management and then we can talk about it. So yeah, this is true what you said.
Has he got back to you?
No, his project changed actually. So now I have a new manager.
And he will also have no answer. Well, the thing is that most of our contracts have this line written, wishing you a mutually rewarding career. Now, I have never understood that word of that mutually rewarding thing. It in my opinion, it means if it means something to you, if it brings some reward to you, it brings some reward to me too. So if you are talking about me doing certain things for the betterment of the organization, what steps is the organization taking for the betterment of me as well, having a career path for me and things. And to respond to Parish's point, Parish, the only objective of the men of highlighting that issue with women was an observation that we've had, that there are of course there is a problem with people speaking out, but uh, based on the data that I have, at least from our test chat group, and the observations that I have made on social media and everywhere else, and in discussing things with people, and in my experience, I have seen that comparatively women speak out less compared to men, and that is why the question was asked. It is not that there is a divide or anything like that in my head, but it is purely based on my experience. Well, I may be wrong there. Thank you for highlighting that. But you know, it's good that if people in general speak up, it doesn't have to be a man or a woman. Generally, speaking up is a good idea, and that's
I
why
thought men generally don't speak. That is what I'm
they
observation.
don't speak after marriage, Naveen. So that's
No, in fact, I've seen a lot of candidates who are coming for interviews, and the moment I ask, "Do you have any question?" they were like, "No."
oh, that's
It's very, very silent. I don't know why Indians, especially in India, they never ask any single question about the profile, about the job, about the company.
uh,
Not it's about.
I, I so agree with you, Naveen. I mean, interviewing in India is a very strange experience for me. Okay, over the years, I've interviewed so many people, and this particular question, do you have any question for us or for me? I mean, it draws such a blank. There is so much silence after this question. It is amazing. How can somebody come to an interview and have no questions? I mean, that is something that I have never understood. But maybe that's just the way it is in India. I don't know. It's a mindset problem. I know that you've been very vocal about it through your videos. Also, you have been trying to pass on a message. I hope people learn soon and start asking questions. At least here in Europe, I see something totally different. The interviews are done very differently here. It is more of a discussion rather than a interrogation or a Q&A that happens. Both parties are allowed to ask questions as much as you want, and the more open conversations we have, the better it is to identify candidates. But yeah, we also encounter people not asking any questions here as well. And we've seen Europeans do the same thing, we've seen Indians, Asians do the same thing. The race doesn't matter, but the way it is done in India, the Most of the interviews are in a Q&A mode, that I ask question, you give the answer, and the candidate is the one who's always getting ready to give the answers, and that's why they go quiet at a certain point of time. So I understand where exactly you're coming from, and I must compliment in the way you do your interviews, Naveen. They're very different. You know, it's a good exercise. People should do more interviews. Maybe you and I should do a mock interview once. Okay, I'll be happy to be the candidate. You can grill me as much as you want. Okay, we can
No,
touch upon a lot of subjects. You know, we can talk about the star method there, give examples.
yeah,
We can also talk about the. You did a beautiful series. I think there was 10 videos or something where you did HR questions. Those were some very interesting ones. You know, and some very insightful answers. I had a few different answers to some of those, so maybe we could try
yeah,
those as well. So I think it's a good idea. Let's plan something. Okay, let's do it live so that people can interact and ask.
yeah, sure.
It'll be fun. Anyways, we are on dot at 12:30 IST. We had a good conversation, some very good points discussed. Parish, thank you. You are so insightful as always. Shefali, thank you for being so vocal as always. Sachin, you bring in so much, analogy. And today, Faiz, you brought some beautiful analogy. Dheeraj, wonderful to have you here, buddy. You, I mean, it'll be awesome if you could join us regularly.
Thank you, boss. I'll make sure I'll join.
And Chandra, today you did not speak, but
Actually, I something happened here, and I left in middle and then joined back again.
I hope
Just
everything is okay at home.
yeah.
Okay. Ram, you also, I think you joined pretty late. You haven't spoken. And my
Yes.
friend Kazim,
Uh,
Nigeria. Sorry, who was talking? Sorry.
Yeah, glad to join. Although I joined late, unfortunately, but I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. Next time let's sync up and let's have you join sooner than you joined today, because I know that you have a lot of insightful thoughts that you would like to share. So, all right. Can we have a selfie moment, please? If you can just turn on your cameras. Parish, you're not in the lawn today.
I am back to Pune.
Oh, okay. Shefali, Naveen, Nikhil. Naveen, are you trying to be camera shy?
Not today.
I think he is trying to put on his clothes.
Not in that situation today.
Okay, anyways. Well, okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. A great discussion. Let's talk next week as well. We'll have a different topic. And wish you all a great Sunday and a great week ahead. And let's keep chatting in Test Chat. See you guys. See you, everyone.
See you guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Hi,
Bye.
Brijesh.
Yeah.
Can
Ram.
you get that? Because I joined late a little bit due to some network issue. Can
No
you get
problem,
that?
Ram. The recording will be available on the Test Chat YouTube channel. You will get a notification for that if you're subscribed.
Sure.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're most welcome. Bye-bye.